This is Roppongi Rocks, and we are backstage in Tokyo with Kevin Riddles of Tytan fame. How are you, Kevin?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much.
Obviously, Tytan was active in the early 80s, and then in around 2012, you decided to bring back a new version of the band. Mm-hmm. What brought that on?
Pure, unadulterated luck. It was literally, I got a phone call from Oliver Weinsteimer, who organises Keep It True Festival in Germany. And he said, what are the chances of putting Tytan back together? Because did you know it's your 40th anniversary of the album? Really? In my head at the time, Tytan were a long way in the past, you know. And the more I thought about it, I thought, actually, let's make a few phone calls. Let's send a few messages and just see what happens. Simon Wright, who was our last drummer at the time, was working with Ronnie James Dio, so he couldn't do anything. Cal, the singer, who lived in America, but hadn't sung for 15, almost 20 years, except, as he said in his own words, scaring his children when in the shower. So I had to make that decision as to, do I start again with a new lineup or just decline? No, I can't decline. I can't say no. So fortunately, Steve Mann, who was the guitar player, he was full of beans and really wanted to do it. So we just got some friends together and just made it happen. And we thought it was just going to be a one-off.
And you're still at it.
Still here, you know what, 14 years later?
Yeah.
Or whatever, no, 12 years later.
And musically, I mean, you're the only constant member. Mm-hmm. There were a few changes in the early days, and then there's been a few changes since you revived it. You've had members that have been in and out of Judas Priest, AC/DC, Dio, Michael Schenker Group.
Yeah.
But you somehow still managed to keep this. Obviously, you are very important in the musical creation, but how do you keep it so consistent when you've had these changes around you?
By just recognising the reason I do it is to have fun.
Right.
And I try really hard to surround myself with people who want to have fun. We love playing. I hate the process of recording just because I find it really, really boring, but I love the end result. So if I've written a song and it's all complete and it's all arranged, and at that point, that's where the musical love comes from. But other than that, this is purely, I do it because I thoroughly enjoy it. With all the ups and all the downs and you know, shit, use the phrase, shit happens, I'm afraid. Most of the time, the shit that happens to me is, you know, doesn't smell very bad. It's usually, you know, it's usually okay.
Indeed, well, it works. And you did one album back in the 80s. You did one after you revived the band. Is there any hope for a third album soon?
Yeah, there is. We've got at least 2 record companies who are really interested in the old school way. So they're prepared to put some money in to help us with the recording, because I will not record anything in like somebody's garage or in a bedroom using a computer to do the drums and all that sort of. I cannot do that. I have to put the drums in a studio, playing with me on bass. And okay, we overdub guitars and vocals later, but myself and drums, they're the basis on which the songs sit. That can only be done in the studio, I believe. Unfortunately, my drummer Gary Bowler agrees that that's the only way to get a proper drum sound and drum feel. So, but that takes money. And I've always said to the guys, as long as we can make this pay and it doesn't cost us money, then that we'll just continue doing it, because I don't have any money. I've never had a nest egg to fall back on. So fortunately, they're happy with that, and we'll put aside a little bit of money out of gig fees and that sort of stuff. But generally, we've got a couple of record companies that are prepared to put a little bit of money in to help us with the recording. The songs are pretty much written, although I was showing someone my phone, which is about my only technological advance into the 21st century, is I've got Samsung Notes, so I can jot down lyrics on there instead of bits of paper, which I then go and lose. So on my phone are the lyrics to about 8, maybe 9 songs. The music's already up here, and some of it's already recorded. So yeah, hopefully at the end of this year, maybe early next year, we'll have a new album out, and we're just struggling like hell to think of a title that goes with Rough Justice, Justice Served,
Injustice.
So, there we go.
Injustice,
But what it should have been, of course, is And Justice for All.
Yes.
But some other bloody band got in front of us for that one. So if anybody can have any good ideas, let us know.
Fair enough. And now you're in Japan. You've done a fantastic gig last night. You got a final gig tonight. What comes up after Japan for you, apart from working on the new album?
Yeah, we've got about 6 weeks that we're going to do some more songwriting. Myself, Andy, the keyboard player, and Ian, our guitar player, are going to just knock a few things into place. Tony and Gary are both teachers in real life, let's say, both dealing with special needs children, so they have a life outside of rock and roll. But of course their summer holidays are coming up soon, so we've got a bit of a break. But then come August, we are in Europe, we're in Germany, we do a New Day festival in Kent when we come back, and we've got other irons in the fire for other festivals in Yugoslavia, sorry, not Yugoslavia, what the hell am I talking about, Romania, Czech Republic and Poland. So we've got a few things that so interspersed in that will be hopefully songwriting and rehearsing everything together, so that we're ready to just walk into the studio and just bang, go.
Excellent.
So.
Well, thank you very much, Kevin Riddles. We hope to see you here in Japan soon again.
Thank you, my friend.